Here's a video on how to do surface area of a regular pyramid. The formula that we use for surface area of a regular pyramid is base plus 1/2 perimeter times slant height. Okay, this cursive L we use is representative of slant height, and slant height is the height of a face for our pyramid. And usually in the past, when we've talked about formulas for prisms, it's been 2b plus p times h, but our pyramid only has one base here. Okay, so that's why we have a single b. This formula might also be written like this: b plus p times l divided by 2. This is the one formula here that I would probably use more often in class when I refer to it. Okay. So anytime watching this video, feel free to pause and go back if you need to copy down any notes. Okay, we're going to do an example of where you need to calculate surface area with slant height, and then I'll show you a brief example of when you have regular height of a pyramid. Okay. So the first example that you see here is a square pyramid with sides measuring 6 centimeters and a slant height measuring 9 centimeters. Okay, the slant height here is given to us. Now, if you look at this from the side, okay, the slant height is this length right here. Okay, and it really forms a right triangle here with the base. Okay, and we're going to use this piece in this calculation. Okay, if you need to know how to draw one of these, just draw a square. Actually, instead of drawing the square first, what I would do is draw the front face of the pyramid. Excuse me, I was thinking about drawing a cube here. Draw the front face of the pyramid, and then draw one off to the side here. Okay, and then you can kind of go in and make a square pyramid. Okay, that's how you would draw this figure. Okay, but with the calculation that you have here, all right, b plus perimeter times slant height divided by 2. And this is pretty nice because this stuff is given to us already in our formula, so we can just go ahead and calculate things right out. Okay, well, the base here is a square. Okay, so area of a square, 6 times 6, 36, plus p is the perimeter of the base. Okay, well, we have a square here. Okay, a square with all sides measuring 6. So each side is 6 here. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's going to give us 24. Times a slant height of 9. And then we're going to divide it by 2. And our final answer here will be 144 centimeters squared. Now, that was an example with the slant height given to us. We're going to do an example that doesn't have the slant height given to us. Now, this example that you see here, 10 represents the actual height. Okay, and when I calculate this, I have to draw out this little triangle on the side. Okay, and when I draw out this little triangle on the side, we talked about this today, or you will hear about this, that the height here is this vertical component, the slant height is on the outside, because the slant height really comes down here. It's the triangle that we're drawing here. Now, the side length here, what happens to 4.2? 4.2 actually gets cut in half, so it's 1/2 of whatever the side is. So I just wrote 1/2 times s. Okay, well, in our particular problem here, we need to find the slant height to calculate this formula. All right, I need to know this value right here. So my height is 10. This length right here is half of my base here of 4.2, so half of that is 2.1, and then I got to calculate the slant height. So 2.1 squared plus 10 squared equals L squared. Okay. Doing the Pythagorean theorem calculation, comes out to be 10.21. Okay, and we'll round it the 10th here at 10.2. All right. So now what we need to do is find the area of our base, which is a square once again. So area of a square is side squared. So 17.64 is what we get when we multiply 4.2 times 4.2 plus the perimeter, which is 16.8. That's multiplying basically four sides all the same length, multiplying 4 times 4.2, multiplying the slant height in there, 10.2, and dividing that by 2. Make sure you do this separately in your calculator before going on to this. When I do this calculation right here, I get 85.68. And now I'm going to add 85.68 to 17.64. And I'm going to get 103.32 centimeters squared. And that is how we calculate the surface area of a pyramid. Now, the next example we'll talk about is calculating the surface area of a cone. Okay, and a cone, a quick way to draw a cone. All right. First thing is to draw a circle, and then draw two lines that go up and meet together at the top. All right, and here you go. You kind of have a cone. You see in the picture here the dot, the lines behind on the back side of the cone that you wouldn't see. All right, here's a nice picture right here of the relationship between the slant height, the height, and the radius here in a cone. And here's our formula: pi r squared plus pi r out, which is really similar to the last formula, except that we've substituted the pieces for a circle in there. Area of a circle is pi r squared. That would be replaced by b. Okay, so we'll do an example here with surface area of a right cone. Pi r squared plus pi r out. Surface area of this cone here, just writing out the formula again so we can see it. Pi times 6.5 squared plus pi times 6.5 times 13. Okay, just showing the pieces. This comes out to be 132.73. The second piece of the formula comes out to be 265.46. Combining these two together, I'm going to get 398.19 centimeters squared. Okay, now I can also do this here and just leave this answer in terms of pi. It's going to get maybe just it's not going to be the nicest looking formula. Okay, alright, so if I did this in terms of pi, it would be 42.25 pi plus 84.5 pi. So when you combine those two together, your equivalent answer here would be 126.75 pi centimeters squared. And those, remember, either one of these is okay to use. All right. In terms of pi, okay, is going to be seen like on the ACT test. They may have you just not calculate out the pi. That is possible. So just kind of be aware of that. All right. Now, you do have sometimes the situation where you need to find the slant height. Okay, and we'll talk about the surface area here in a moment. But first thing is to find the slant height. Okay, and what we have here, if we think back to the original formula that we were given here, I have my slant height, I have my height, and I have the radius. And this right here, okay, this right here forms a right triangle. So here my height is 15. Okay, this length that I've drawn all the way across the triangle here is the diameter, so the radius is going to be 8, and then I just have to find the slant height. Pythagorean theorem, fun to do, calculating it out. Should give you 17 as my slant height. And from there, now we can just calculate out the formula. Alright, so now second thing we can do is surface area. Okay, so pi times 8 squared. Remember, this right here is the diameter. So pi times 8 squared plus pi times 8 times 17. And I'm going to leave this one in terms of pi. So 8 squared is 64. And 8 times 17, just a little rusty on that one, is 136 pi. Okay, I had to use a calculator for that. So 136 pi plus 64 pi is going to give us 200 pi inches squared. Okay, so just kind of a quick review here, okay, of these two calculations. All right, surface area, pyramid is B plus P times the slant height divided by 2. For a cone is the same formula except just written in terms of a circle, pi r squared plus pi rl. Okay, and when we do these, okay, you may have to find the slant height. Okay, and remember the slant height is always just found, whether it's in a pyramid or a cone, by basically with the right triangle calculation. So okay, this is going to be 1/2 the side length in a pyramid, or it's going to be the radius measurement. Okay, and once you do that, you should be able to calculate the surface area and volume of a prism.